let us talk about James O'Keefe from Project Veritas. Well, used to be. Apparently, he either got fired or resigned, depending on which source you trust. Maybe both happened at the same time. They went like, you're fired, and he went like, no, I resign. Now, Project Veritas, for those of you who don't know, is a investigative journalistic outlet that would send ushikushi ladies to dinner with important people, and they would have a hidden camera, and they would record the Pfizer executive spilling the beans, much to the horror and dismay of Google, which would then be like, ban the video, ban it everywhere, oh my god, medical misinformation. So, yeah, they were very inconveniencing for certain big corporations. They did the journalistic investigation into Facebook, into Google, into Twitter. Many of their videos were very popular. And as far as I know, it's one of the few investigative outlets that actually uses this method of the hidden camera. Now, many people have sued them, but they won all the lawsuits. So I understand that there may be some controversy about them, but like, tell me the news organization that is spotless, that doesn't have any single problems throughout the years. So many people like them. Many people found them informative. Unfortunately, however, out of the blue, James O'Keefe got suspended initially. And he was accused of raising his voice towards the employees, creating a toxic work environment. By the way, if you're at Ohio, can you make the environment more toxic or less? I know, but he was very toxic. Apparently, they, according to him, held him in a struggle session for 7 hours. And eventually they told him that he needs to be suspended. And there was a lot of outcry from various people demanding that he gets reinstated. There were people that pulled their donations back from Project Veritas. And now it seems that he actually did get fired or resigned. I assume if he resigned, it wasn't because he wanted to, due to the fact that he released a long video where he does seem to be upset with having to leave the company. And take into account that this is coming very shortly after the very popular Pfizer investigation. I mean, that video went viral. Almost everyone probably seen it by now. And one of the board members called him and said, like, yeah, sure, but you personally had nothing to do with that investigation. To which O'Keefe said, well, look at me chasing the Pfizer executive, and he was hiding, and that video got popular. And the board executive said, like, yes, but you didn't do the actual investigation. To which James O'Keefe said, yeah, because you don't know what happened behind the scenes. You don't know the countless number of hours and number of days that I was encouraging this person to confront the executive, to do the recording. So apparently he had a very active role behind the scene. It wasn't just the man in front of the camera. I don't know exactly what executive power he had at Project Veritas. But clearly, given to what many people are saying, he was very influential. So this is why many people are unsubscribing right now from Project Veritas. Many people do not expect that Project Veritas is going to continue doing these very important investigations. I do hear concerns from the left saying it's like, yes, but Veritas is only doing stuff to the left. From what I can tell, it's doing stuff to corporations. But I guess now corporations and the left are synonymous, so that's fine. But you do have other journalistic outlets that can do investigations into the right. I mean, didn't CNN investigate the PIS dossier, the Russia collusion? Like, do they not? I mean, you know, if they don't bear fruit and they don't bear the same results, what can you do? But in reality, there are many sources in the mass media. Some of them left-leaning, some of them right-leaning. I don't see a problem. Oh, well, this is a right-leaning source. Okay, well, then you're partisan. I don't care what you say. You know, you're not, oh, well, people are safe from misinformation. No, you're like a journalistic outlet that's against my side got taken down. And, well, if that's the case, you support fascism. Because under fascism, the press is controlled. And you only have, I mean, you still have the press, but it only serves one party, right? So it will be interesting to see where O'Keefe is going to go now. Obviously, even if he goes independent, it's going to be very difficult because he does not have the same reach, the same contacts, the same army of journalists. From my personal experience, usually when something like this happens, and you see it on YouTube, you know, a YouTuber gets banned from the platform and he starts a BitChute account. Very few people are actually going to follow him over to the other place. It's a difficult job to convince your audience, even the ones that like you, to actually go on a different website. So James O'Keefe is going to have to deal with that. He's going to have to deal with finding staff that's competent. I mean, obviously the way they did business was to have a huge network of people that were capable of infiltrating and taking all these executives and people that had something to say, to take them at a launch date, to record them with a hidden camera. I don't think he's going to be able to do that. But we'll see. You know, I would be surprised if Project Veritas comes up with another interesting report. And I'll be like, oh, well, I was wrong. Also, take into account that the board recently said that James O'Keefe was stealing money. That's what they said. He was embezzling money. Now, I have no idea whether that is true or not. However, I hope that they do have a lot of evidence to support the allegation, because otherwise they've opened themselves to litigation. And Mr. O'Keefe is a very litigious man, as we have observed throughout his career. But if he actually did do that, well, number one, shame on him. They would have a reason to get rid of him in that situation. However, it begs the question, why didn't they say so sooner? Because obviously getting rid of O'Keefe is a huge PR disaster for Veritas. And if they would have came out and said, look, this man is stealing from us, then the backlash to Project Veritas would have been much more smaller and insignificant than, oh, well, he screamed at some employees. I mean, maybe he did, but most of us working folk have experienced at least one boss in our career that screamed at employees. That's not something that is astonishing. At least not here in Eastern Europe. I do not know how things are in the United States. To me personally, that feels more like an excuse rather than a reason. Screamed at employees. Were people leaving in droves? I mean, was there a revolving door with the employees constantly quitting because James O'Keefe? Were the employees actually more important than the face of Project Veritas? That's the question that has to be asked. Still, I don't know if we're going to find the answer to that. Right now, I don't think that Project Veritas is going to have a good time, given how many people are unsubscribing and saying that they're never going to donate again. And it's going to be interesting to see what Mr. O'Keefe has planned. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, if you like the video, consider subscribing or throwing a super thanks, and I will see you in the comment section. Take care.